welcome once again, everybody, to the Land for Time of the Furious. We're continuing this month, and we're getting down to the nitty-gritty with this month. And you're watching Hidden in the Universal Vault. Let me move my chair up a little bit. Okay, there we go. Yeah, okay. So, as I said before, the last time, I do apologize if I scratch my head, but let's continue. So, today I decided to take a look at Furious 7 from 2014. Yes, Furious 7, the seventh in the Fast and Furious franchise. Now, before I go on, the next one is going to be the last installment I'm going to cover in this, which would be F9, the Fast Saga. Because I'm going to be ditching 8 because I'm not going to cover 8 and not covering Hobbs and Shaw because I'm not going to have enough time by the end of this month. I want to devote it to this. And now that I talk about, let's talk about Furious 7. Well, Furious 7 picks up after the 6th installment. With this time, Paul Walker's Brian O'Connor is now a dad. His kid's now a toddler and going to preschool. Yeah, it went by fast. His child was a baby, and now he's going to preschool. And in this one, it starts out with just the small street race in it, though. So we get to a street race that predict Letty, Michelle Rodriguez. This has Michelle Rodriguez, you know the whole cast. Michelle Rodriguez, Jordana Brewster, Chris Luke, Chris Bridges, Tyrese Gibson, Vin Diesel, Paul Walker, and The Rock, or Dwayne Johnson. All of them come back for this one. So I think they stay throughout this whole entire series. So let's actually talking about the film. So he's deciding he's done being a cop, but they decide to go one final mission to go out for one hurrah. This also co-stars Djimon Hounsou and Kurt Russell. Yeah, I kind of want to get past the only negative film, Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell just does not work in this film. That's my only problem. Kurt Russell's there for sake of being there. Sure, he's an action star. If he was a little young, yeah, if he was like Snake in the Escape from New York movie, John Carpenter's Escape from New York, that's fine. Or The Thing, that's fine. He's that right age. But not when he's getting up in age and shouldn't be in an action film. Also, we're introduced to Jason Statham's Shaw. He's the brother of the character from the previous film, who we only see in the hospital scene. So, like I said, at race and realize for some reason Hans dies. So they're at the funeral, and Letty's predicting. She has a premonition that she died in that wreck. So basically, yeah, it starts out slow. There's some great scenes, but I feel like the setting in this also got a little bit too silly with the cars coming out of the plane. Djimon Hounsou is excellent. He plays the main baddie. Aside from Jason Statham's Shaw, we get Djimon Hounsou, who they're trying to get this woman. They're trying to get this woman who's like, who is trying that, I don't know, like she's captured, she tries to escape, they're trying to catch her, and all of a sudden it plays a sort of cat and mouse game where half the time Vin is trying to protect her, Dom is trying to protect them. I don't know, that seemed honestly, some of it does feel a bit odd. Kurt Russell, like I said, extremely pointless. Although the title screen again, it kills me. Now it's Furious 7 as the spelling of the 7, so the numbers. But the DVD, or in this case the Blu-ray cover art, shows the number 7. So I don't get what they were trying to do with this franchise. Are you trying to put words? Just stop, okay? Just stop. That's what really bugs me. Why just call it Fast and Furious 7? No, we gotta come up with some gimmicky names. We had Fast 5, we had Fast Furious 6 or Furious 6, and now we got Furious 7 with Furious 7 with the 7 spelled out. It really bugs me. So that's also nitpick number two. Would I say it's still good? Absolutely. I mean, it's not perfect. I feel like it's slow. I feel like it can get boring at some parts. But also another funny thing is we see Shaw, not Shaw, we see Hobbs, Luke Hobbs, The Rock's character. He's at the hospital watching bad 70s programs. He's watching Incredible Hulk, which funny enough, that was also made by Universal Television. So that's more of a Universal in-joke. This studio seems to like to do that a lot with their movies, have Universal in-jokes. So, yeah. The ending was a great climax, though I want to talk about the not onset tragedy, but another offset tragedy with the death of Paul Walker. And I have to kind of bring this up. They do an amazing end, though that final scene looks a little too photoshopped. There are some scenes where they Photoshop. Essentially, during the making of this film, this was directed by James Wan. So, director James Wan, who I covered Dead Silence on my channel, really good as a horror director. Unfortunately, that's the problem I have. Much like I had the problem with Ang Lee directing The Hulk, I had a big problem with James Wan directing this. James Wan just was not the right director for this installment. It just doesn't work. Coming from the previous directors, heck, I even think John Singleton did a better job than James Wan. He was a one-time director. I feel like, I forget, Justin Lin. Justin Lin was the previous director on the sixth installment. If they had Justin Lin back on direct this, I think it would be a lot better. But James Wan, just to be honest, should not be directing action pictures. He's a horror director. His specialty is horror movies. And he's just not the right choice to direct this installment. That's not saying the movie's bad. It's competent. But the main reason I want to talk about is Paul Walker. This movie came out in 2014. Walker died in 2013 from a really bad car crash. He was driving the car super fast with a friend. I don't like to bring this up, but I got to bring this up so people know, and I'm sure everybody knows. He died in a collision crash. He was driving a souped up car along with a friend, and that friend also died. Blowing up the car. He died from the carbon monoxide fumes, and bam. He blew up in the car. It's very tragic. I remember that day when it happened on the news. I was spending the night in a hotel at the time. My mom and I were visiting some family, and we were in a hotel, and we were flipped through the news, and Paul Walker died. And that shocked me. A lot of people were shocked because it's so sad. I believe he was 42, I think. Let me look that up real quick. I gotta get onto my computer and look this up real quick. I was wrong. He died on November 30th, 2013. He was 40 years old. So, just turned 40. So sad what happened. Very tragic. I'm going to bring up, just like I said about another tragic death of a child actor, I'm going to be shown a small tribute at it. Not really much way of video tribute, but just a tribute, though. And the end of the film, the ending when they're driving off is just, wow. I think I almost cried. It was so sad what happened. They're driving off by showing clips of all the Fast and Furious movies up to this point. And it's very sad. Though the funny thing is, they don't bring up the disclaimer anymore about the saying that the stunts are done by real professionals. Don't try this at home. They don't do that. It is really sad what happened. And yeah, the song at the end is by Charlie Proof is fantastic. I might sing a little small verse of it, small lyric from that at the end as soon as I close out. And then we'll get into that. So, at the end of the film, this is not giving away the whole movie, but at the end of the film, the final climax where they're being hunted down is amazing. But that's all I'm going to bring up. So, the end of the film shows for Paul. So it shows the writers really did care. And I think that's the problem they had. They had some on-set trouble because they were in production, and all of a sudden it's just tragedy happened at age 40. So sad. But yeah, now that I talk about that, final verdict, is Furious 7 worth watching despite Paul Walker's death? And the answer is absolutely. It's a great send-off to the Brian O'Connor character. It's a great send-off, even though it feels a little Photoshop when we see him drive off. You can see it's totally Photoshop. I feel like there are so many memes out there that poke fun at that, kind of. But as of now, as a film, despite onset problems, this movie is still good. Just like I said in my Land for Time review, I've said about when Jude Barsley died. Despite that was also tragic. But I want to talk about this. Oh, for the review, I watched the theatrical version. I'm going to show you artwork. Again, I'm not a fan of this artwork because I don't like the border like that. But at least we get that. We get spine. The back. Yeah, this girl I was trying to think of right there. That's a girl that they have to keep an eye on. I don't know why they decided to Photoshop. Hey, we'll make the main lead, but we'll go ahead and throw her in a bikini up on top. But they figured, let's just throw her wearing a bikini and call it a night to do that. There's Paul Walker in probably the best climax. You got usual Statham was good. The whole cast was incredible. But yeah, overall, yeah, I'm just going to show you. Again, there's not much. The same usual thing right there. Although there's a really cool featurette on Supercharge, which was a ride at Universal Studios. I really want to go on this Supercharge. So there is a making of that ride. So that's cool if you want to check out a bunch of stuff. I love when Universal does this kind of stuff, like making stuff in the park. I know the Memory Returns had a thing on their ride there, which they talk about. I like watching that stuff because I'm a big Universal guy right here. And no, I didn't get this shirt at the park. I got this on Macari, so I wanted to kind of show that off. I know you can't really see that, but yeah, this is a channel of Universal, so I got to show my love for it, though. But let's talk about the special features on here. We get deleted scenes, Cars of the Furious, flying cars, tower jump. The flying cars was interesting. Inside the fight, talking fast. See You Again by Charlie Proof is excellent. That's on YouTube, so you guys can listen to that if you want to. But the bonus features on the DVD, that's also on the Blu-ray, is Back to the Starting Line, Race Wars, Snatch and Grab, and the making of that Supercharged ride. You also get a digital code. Like I said again, I didn't hate this. I honestly liked it. So that's my final verdict, is to actually see this film. Despite a tragedy and James Wan's directing. I just don't think James Wan, it didn't hurt the film. I just don't think James Wan was the right choice to direct this installment. So, yeah. That's all I'm going to say. So, as I said before, thank you so much, guys, for watching. And come back next week. We're going to close out the month next week as I dive into one more Fast and Furious movie and two more Land for Time movies to close out that month, guys. So, like I said again, follow me on social media. Check it out. Let me know what you think. Go check out all the films. If you like what you see, go ahead and give it a like, follow, check me out on all that stuff. Excuse me, I had to take a deep breath. So yeah, I'm going to sing one lyric from the film just to kind of say a tribute. It's been a long time without you, my friend, and I'll gladly where I see you again. It's been a long time without you, my friend. Will I ever see you again? Will I see you again?